Do you get used to it?
Yeah, you get used to it. You have to be careful. Prices. In other words, the numbers will come down at levels that nobody's ever seen before. The whole most favored nation thing that we've been able to do with Bobby and Maz and everybody behind me, Marty, has been incredible. It's the biggest price reduction in drugs in history. By itself, we should win the midterms, but it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You know, it doesn't work that way. People forget too quickly, but we'll have it's the biggest cut in drug prices in the history of our country by many percentage points. With this announcement, 17 of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies, representing 80% of the branded drug market, have now agreed to sell their drugs to American patients at the lowest prices anywhere in the world. We're going to have the lowest prices in the world. This will result in the largest drop in prescription drug prices in the history of the United States of America. I mean, it should be front page news, but it won't be. It'll be back on page 19, but the people get it. That's why we're in the Oval Office, I guess. I want to thank Regeneron CEO, a friend of mine for a long time, good guy, great guy, CEO Len Schleifer, and Chief Scientific Officer George Yankopoulos, who are two fantastic people in the medical world, very respected. We're also joined by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Bobby, thank you. Secretary Howard Lutnick, Administrator of the Centers for Medical. Other prices doubled and sometimes they tripled, and ours would go down by 60, 70. Lower cholesterol and fight heart disease to all consumers at dramatically lower and pharmaceutical.
He'll be able to do that.
Wow.
It's life-changing. He has a bright future ahead of him, and I'm so thankful to everybody on the Regeneron team.
Oh, that's incredible. I mean, even the fake news has to be impressed with this. They'll find a way to make it a bad story. He doesn't hear perfectly, but he actually does. It's about 1% off. They'll figure a way. How are you going to do it? You got to explain. No, they're genius. They are genius. I respect them a lot. But I just want to thank you, Sierra. That's incredible. Your family.
Thank you for having us.
He's a beautiful person, too. That's a beautiful boy.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
His life is a happier life?
Oh, yeah, he is so full of energy and love now, and he was such a serious
baby. So you
baby.
see such a difference.
Yeah, he was such a serious baby.
And before that, it was
fun.
199, which is a big raise. If you know, from 87 to 190 was $199 a month.
Or what he wants to eat or what he needs, and now he'll be able to do that. And
wow.
It's life-changing.
That's a great job they've done. I want to thank Regeneron and other companies for doing their part to bring down the cost of health care for all Americans under our most favored nations agreement. We've secured gigantic discounts with price differences from 4 to 5 and even 600%. 600%. One of the most popular weight loss drugs has gone from $1,350 a month to as low as $199 a month. So that's a price that's incredible. So it used to sell in London for $87. And they raised it to $199, which is a big raise if you know from 87 to 199. But that's been going on. Our country's been being ripped off for 30 years. How long would you say, Doug? Like 30, 40 years? For years with drugs and drug prices. So they're going up. We're going way down. And because the world is a bigger place than we are, believe it or not, it's hard to believe that, but they are, that we go down much more than they go up. So they don't go up as much as people would have thought. So they're going from, they're going to 199, and we're going down all the way down. Think of that. We're going down from $1,350 a month to $199. That's, nobody would believe it. And this is true with all. I mean, this is the weight loss drug. But this is true with all drugs. Sometimes even more of a difference than that, sometimes a little bit less, but sometimes substantially more than even that difference, and you see what that is. So we cut the per cycle cost of IVF drugs by thousands of dollars, and we reduced the price of the major COPD medication from $458 to $50. What? That must be a typo. Is that a typo? From $458 to $50. If your boy was here, he'd go, wow. He left, he got bored. I think he got a little bored. He wants to go into bigger and better things, but there's nothing bigger or better than this. They'll all be available right now at trumprx.gov, so it's, you know, that's why it's doing well. It's not doing well for other reasons. It's doing well. Think of that. That's some discount. But we have others, and these are all top companies and top medications, and I think in the end we're going to have every company involved. We're almost there right now, but we're going to have every company involved. So Trump RX has already received more than 15 million visitors, and every American should log on to check for massive discounts before they go to the pharmacy. It's setting a record. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. I've actually had many companies, I shouldn't tell you this, Bobby, but there have been many companies say, so we'd like to buy from you if you could. What? TrumpRx.com. I said, it's not for sale. It's not me. It's the government. The government owns it. I don't own it. But they're all impressed. These pharmaceutical companies, they said they've never seen anything like this. So it's fantastic. Now, I'd like to ask Secretary Kennedy to say a few words, and then we'll have Dr. Oz, the team at Regeneron, and Sierra. And Sierra, I'm so happy for you. And Chris Klump has been unbelievable, a real star. You don't know his name as much as some of the others, but he's a real star of the group. So, Bobby, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was reminded when the President was speaking of a conversation that I had yesterday with one of the Democratic senators who was questioning me during the hearing, and she was ridiculing President Trump for his math, and she was saying it's mathematically impossible to have any drug drop by 600% cost, which he had claimed. And I said, well, if the drug was $100 and it raised the price to $600, that would be a 600% rise. Well, if it drops from 600 to 100, that's a 600% savings. And the President used that mathematical device to illustrate the magnitude of the theft that has been happening against our country and our people. As he said, we have 4.2% of the world's population. We take 13% of the pharmaceutical drug. We spend 80% of the biotechnology research in our country, and we provide 75% of the profits to the pharmaceutical industry. This is a ripoff that has irked him for 20 years. During his first term, he held the line on drug prices for the first time in history. He came back on this term and he said, we're going to lower them this time, no matter.
You're right. I took a lot of heat to say 500, 600, but we also say sometimes 50. %, 60%, different kind of calculation, 70, 80, and 90%, and people understand that better. But there are two ways of calculating.
He's a president, and all three of us grew up in Queens, New York.
Right.
So there's something maybe that was going on back then that was good. I'm not sure about now. So anyway, together we founded, George and I founded Regeneron, and have built it over. And we have to commitment to
and thus save many.
A few words, please.
Thanks, Mr. President. It's not lost on me that this year is America 250, and it's powerful, I think, to pause and remember that 250 years ago, a revolutionary free republic was born, and with it, the greatest companies represented.
Mr. President, today is another.
I hear it's the best of all the alternatives, but I want to thank Howard Kessler and Michelle Kessler. They really.
Dollars of drug logic, you've got high bandwidth memory, and you have foundational chips
And America really pros. You see the way large slabs of black granite. Granite is rated bed.
And our expectation is we will, that's part of this 18 trillion, but it's foundational for us to take care of ourselves.
Thank you very much. I'll go off subject for a minute, but I think it's very interesting, and I hope you go over and take a look because it's happening right now as we speak. But first, if you look outside, so we had flooring outside. We had slate, and it was coming to pieces. It's been there since the early 1940s, and it's a path to the Oval Office. It's a path to the West Wing, and it was terrible. It was broken, bad shape. The whole White House has been in bad shape. It's right now in better shape than it is. I think the day they built it, this is better right now. But we're putting magnificent new granite. It's called charcoal. It's black granite against the white, beautiful white walls. We've stripped all of the paints off. We had 200 years of paint, and we've redone it, and it's beautiful. You can see the building, but you can also see the columns, everything else. But we're replacing, and they're working right outside if the press wants to go and take a look at what they do. Really pros. You see the way large slabs. Slabs of black granite. Granite is rated as, this particular granite, over a 1,000,000-year life. As an example, concrete gets rated for about 200 years if you get very high grade. It's rated over, can you imagine, nature produces something better than you can make. So it's very interesting. It's a beautiful job they're doing. And it's highly polished granite in the areas you don't walk on. And it's called flame finished, the areas that you do walk on, there's no slip. So it's a beautiful job, and it's going up nice. And if you want to take a look outside the window, so that's replacing a stone that was here from the early 1940s, a little before that. And you'll see the ramp, too. We're keeping the ramp. That was for FDR. He needed a ramp, some people would know. And in his honor, we're leaving it. I wanted to leave it. It means something. The other thing that we're doing that's taking place right now is the Lincoln Memorial has a beautiful reflecting pond or lake. They call it a pool, lake, and pond. Everything is different, but the word reflecting is a good term. It was built in 1922, and it was built out of granite and various stones on the bottom, and they never look great because that's not really meant to be a stone that's underwater for that much of a period of time. It's about 1.5 to 2 feet deep. You all know it well. That's where Martin Luther King gave his great speech, and he had 1 million people, and I had the same exact crowd, maybe a little bit more, but they said I had 25,000 people on July 4th. I have pictures of Martin Luther King's crowd, my crowd. It's the exact same everything, but it was 70 years difference. The exact same crowd, but I actually had more people, but that's okay. They gave him 1 million people. They said 1 million people. I had 25,000 people. So, but these are the things that you get with. We had on July 4th, a few years ago, first term. So you have this reflecting lake pond. Is incredible, but it was terrible. The condition, you all know it. A friend of mine came from Germany to see me, and he said, "Oh, we went over. It's so sad." What's sad? This is a number of months ago. He said it's filthy, dirty. The water's disgusting looking. It's not representative of the country. And I said, "Well, I'm gonna have to go take a look because Secret Service doesn't let you just walk around too freely, actually." And I went over there with Secret Service in tow, and I said, "Isn't that a shame? It's terrible." And so they had bids from the Biden administration, Sleepy Joe, and they had bids for years. They were going to do something to fix it, but they never got it done. And it's so important for our country. Everybody knows this. It covers the Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial. It's in between. It's 2,200 feet. That's taller than any building in the world if you lay it down on its side. Think of it, 2,000. That's a long, over 2,000 feet long. Such would be many swimming pools, many stacked up together. But it would be the equivalent of the tallest building in the world, plus laid down on its side. So it's very big. It's very wide, actually. It looks narrow because it's so long. And so the pricing was coming in over the years, but it came in sort of recently that it was going to cost $301 million to fix it. It was going to take 3.5 years. So they had to take all the granite out, which is there again, 1922. And it was leaking like a sieve. You couldn't keep water, couldn't keep anything. Granite's not the right stone for that. Right stone for that, but not for that. And I said, I have an idea. It's $301 million. It was going to take 3.5 years. So remember those numbers. $301 million. This is a business study. And it was going to take 3 to 3.5 years. And over the years as a developer, I've probably built more than 100 swimming pools in different buildings I built. And I have some really good pool builders. I also had some really bad ones, but we took care of them. They didn't last too long, Howard. But I've had some really good ones, some very talented people. They're great people. I have such great respect for contractors that are good and such disdain for contractors that are bad. They charge you more money and they give you a bad job, but we don't accept it. But over the years, I've had 3 or 4 really good ones, and I took the best of the 3. I had all 3 go, but I ended up taking the best. And I said, would you take a look at this? It's 2,200 feet long. He said, what are you? Want me to look at you? I said, have a little swimming pool. Think of it as a swimming pool. I said, oh, how big is it? I said, 2,200 feet by 167 feet wide. He said, that's the biggest swimming pool? He said, I've been doing this for a lot of years, sir. I've never heard of a pool like that. I said, well, you'll see, it's a reflecting pool and very famous. It's very famous, very big signal, and very important for Washington, D.C., where we, by the way, have almost no crime, I have to say. That's maybe more important than talking about this. We have crime down from a tremendously high, one of the worst in the country. We have almost no crime. People are walking around, restaurants are opening all over the place, the place is bustling. But that makes us even more important. So instead of being a dirty, disgusting place where garbage was in it and everything else, and I want to give Doug Burgum incredible credit because he was involved, the Secretary of the Interior, he was involved right from the beginning. I called him, I said, Doug, I'm getting a lot of complaints about the condition of this. What do you think? And he went over, he studied it, and he came back with some ideas. But I said, you know, Doug, I have a guy who's unbelievable at doing swimming pools. Up the road, we have a club, we have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Our job will take 1 week and will cost about $1.5 million. And people said, wow. And here's the only difference, because somebody said, well, the difference is, no, the difference is this is much better. This will last 30, 40, 50 years. And if it didn't, you do it again, be taken care of. Here's a sign that we put. And so Doug Burgum and myself are involved in that. But when you take a look at the surface, we have it in good shape. And they just started today putting down the material. It's a machine. It lays it very evenly, beautiful. It goes from one side to the other. It'll take about 3 days. And you're going to end up with a beautiful, beautiful reflecting pool the way it's supposed to be. Much better than it ever was, actually. It'll stay clean. We even have robots that go in it, and they ride around the bottom and they clean it like a swimming pool. But these are a much higher level. This is industrial grade, and it's really beautiful. So you can have a beautiful pool, and you'll have it for July 4th, long before July 4th. Instead of taking 3.5 years, we're taking a week. And instead of spending $301 million, we're spending less than $2 million. And I think it's a great business story because there are many things like that that I see. I mean, not maybe to that extent, but there are many things like that I see. I often talk about the pen. This pen's better than the one that they used to give away for $2,000. I won't go on a long story about that because a couple of people said, he kept talking about the pen. No, I gave you the whole history of it. Actually, many people found it interesting, and some people thought I was doing too much of a weave. But actually, it was a good start. But this pen for $3, $5, $2, whatever the hell it costs, is better than the one for $1,000 to $2,000 that used to hand away. So that's the short version of it. I like the short version better. But the long version is this one. So this is an amazing thing that's happening, and this is a big, big beautification. In addition to that, the sidewalk areas around it, which were done in granite, similar granite to that. Actually, not as nice as we have here, to be honest with you, but you know, the people that did.
I didn't realize. I think I was muted for a lot of my rants, so so that sucks. But basically, what I was saying is that he doesn't stop talking about Doug Burgum's wife. That's all he talks about. I used to like Doug Burgum, but he lets Trump talk about his wife way too damn much. And then Trump's all he's talking about was Trump RX, and then he's this slate, the new slate, and the pool and the robots in the pool. All that could have been a tweet. You know, he talks crap on Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones. That tweet that he made, fine. How about you talk about that? That would make a great clip, and that's what the people actually want to hear. They don't want to hear about the slate being transitioned into black granite and how he's saving $1 million on that when he just asked for $200 billion for 30 days for the war. Like,
did it weren't in the world of real estate like I am, but they have good granite.
yeah, you're
Settling it,
great
and
at
we're
real
gonna repoint
estate,
it,
Trump.
meaning we're going to caulk it up and repoint it, make it good, and we're going to also sandblast it. It'll be like brand new. So we're going to have, in another couple of weeks, we're going to have the most beautiful reflecting pool between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial that you've ever seen. And I hope the media can go over and maybe watch them do it because I think it's very exciting. And so a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time, and you get a better product than you could ever get the other way, and it'll be beautiful. And as he said, it will be American flag blue. Any questions, please?
Yes, sir. Could you talk a little bit about why your Navy Secretary was fired yesterday, sir?
He's a wonderful guy. I just put out a statement about him. He's a very good man. I really liked him, but he had some conflict with, not necessarily Pete, with some other, he's a hard charger, and he had some conflicts with some other people, mostly as to building and buying new ships. I'm very aggressive in the new shipbuilding, and somehow he just didn't get along with them. He's an excellent guy. I think he would have gotten along great with me. I didn't really deal with him too much, but he's I consider him to have done a very good job. I put out a nice statement about him. You got to get along, especially in the military. You got to get along, you know. And some people liked him, some people didn't, and that's usually the truth about everything. But I found him to be a very good man, and I liked him a lot.
On the war with Iran, how long are you willing to wait until you get a unified response?
Don't rush me, Jeff.
So it sounds like so Trump there taking it, handling it, addressing it, saying it's just some disagreement about cohesion. He's probably going to get fired by Hegseth was reports, 2 or 3 reports that I saw on different sources. We can explore that on X. However, I kind of came to the same conclusion that it's probably Hegseth that told him that he had to get out. Something about them communicating. I guess the quote I had seen from an anonymous source, I believe they gave it to, it was one of the credible inside, I don't know, it might have even been Axios. You know, they know everything. They control our government. It was that Secretary, oh, gosh, what's his name? It's just escaping my head right now. But the Secretary of the Navy, that he would take what was being told to him and still do as he thought best instead of execute the order. So it's about executing the order that you were given by the higher up, which would be Pete Hegseth or Trump. It's about executing that order. Secretary of the Navy, Trump's alluding to the ships here, so maybe there's something about the ships that was. I mean, that's best case scenario, right? It probably had to do directly about Iran. Maybe about some combat formations, maybe about blockades, maybe about demining. Who knows? Anyways, Trump is saying good things about him. But at least he addressed it. I'll give him credit for that.
Guys like you want to say, oh, so we were in Vietnam like for 18 years. We were in Iraq for many, many years. We're in for all the, I don't like to say World War II because that was a biggie, but we were 4.5, almost 5 years in World War II. We were in the Korean War for 7 years. I've been doing this for 6 weeks. And their military is totally defeated. They're outside of the little wise guy.
Yesterday he called these 6 weeks. I'm glad he's remembering that it is 6 weeks. He seems on top of it right now. He's answering questions. Maybe it was about how excited he is about Trump RX making more money for him. However, yesterday he said 5 months. He said we've been in this war for 5 months. So
ships, I call them the wise guy ships, the little boats that they have running around with guns in them. We'll take them out too when we see them. But their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft is gone, all of their anti-aircraft machinery is gone. Maybe they loaded up a little bit during the 2-week hiatus, but we'll knock that out in about 1 day if they did. We've done an amazing job. Their leaders are gone. Their leaders are all gone. Part of the problem is that, that's why I can't really answer your question, they have all new leadership and they're fighting like cats and dogs for who's going to control. Because we've created a real mess for them, but they've created a mess for the world over the last 47 years. They've killed a lot of our people. When you see a soldier, a young person, or now an older person, but a person without legs or without arms or with a face that got blown to pieces, most likely it was from Iran. It was Soleimani who I killed. Soleimani loved the roadside bomb. He was an evil genius. He was a brilliant general. Probably we wouldn't be as far advanced had I not taken him out. That was the beginning of it all. And then I ended the Obama horror show. The nuclear transaction that he made was horror. It gave him a road to the, you call it, I mean, what the deal that he did, the Iran nuclear deal, was so bad. It gave him a road to a nuclear weapon. And I will tell you, I deal with him. You cannot give Iran a nuclear weapon. This is all about a nuclear weapon. They cannot have the nuclear bomb, and they're not going to have the nuclear bomb. So we've taken out their military. We've hit about 75% of our targets. We stopped a little early because they wanted to have some peace. And we have a blockade that's 100% effective. And they're getting no business. And as you know, they're not doing well economically, financially. They're not doing any business because of the blockade. They want to make a deal. We have been speaking to them, but they don't even know who's leading the country. They're in turmoil. They're in turmoil. So we thought we'd give them a little chance to get some of their turmoil resolved. But, and I hope the fake news, people like you, I hope the fake news are going to be able to write about it accurately, because when you say, oh, they're fighting very well, they're not fighting well. They've been obliterated, Jeff, obliterated. 159.
Keep in mind, and we're going to take a look at this. I'm just learning about this because, like I said, I was busy this morning, and then I just came home from the gym to find Trump speaking. Apparently, Iran has released footage of their commandos seizing ships in the Strait of Hormuz. I'm not sure that Trump talks about it here, but Trump says that that the U.S. is in control. Not Iran. So Iran appears to have video of them being in control of it. We will take a look, but let's listen to keep hearing what the president says.
Ships are in the Navy. You know how many ships are at the bottom of the sea, Jeff? 159. So, and if you read the New York Times, the failing New York Times, subscriptions are way down, as you know. That's because people don't believe the stuff anymore. if you watch CNN, you'd think that they're doing well in the war. They're not doing well.
100%, President. No one believes anything that they hear anymore. 100%. Not on TV, not from the White House, not from your local mayor. No one believes anything. There's no credibility anywhere aside from the small bits of news sources that you actually can gather and trust and believe the majority of what they say, but you gotta dig yourself. So you are correct. No one believes anything anymore.
They're getting absolutely decimated. Now, with all of that being said, we'll see what happens. They have a lot of, we have no pressure. It's only guys like you with a question like that about what's your time. We've been doing it for 5.5 weeks.
But sir,
Is your administration, Mr.
President,
President?
8 weeks that the U.S. now has been involved with Iran. You had initially said it would be 4 to 6
Well,
weeks.
I
and it
hope
would be
that, but I
over.
also took a little break. I gave them a break. And remember this,
Took a break.
I want to make the best deal. I could make a deal right now. Do you know that if I left right now, we had a tremendous success. It would take them 20 years to rebuild, but I don't want to do that. I want to have it everlasting. I want to have it where they never have a chance to get it. I mean, the way you asked that question, yeah, I did say it. I thought it would take 4 to 6 weeks, and I was right. Because at the end of 6 weeks, at the end of 4 weeks, their military was decimated.
So are you saying
But
that
now what I'm doing, I can't tell you that. I don't want to put that kind of a timetable on it, but it'll go pretty quickly. And we'll have the strait opened up. Now, right now, we have it closed. We have total control of the strait. And the fact that it's closed, they would have opened it up.
That's going to be the soundbite you're going to hear everywhere. No matter what, we have total control of the strait.
3 days ago, they came to us and they said, we will agree to open the strait. And all my people were happy. Everybody was happy except me. I said, wait a minute, if we open the strait, that means they're going to make $500 million a day. I don't want them to make $500 million a day until they settle this thing. So I'm the one that kept it closed. We have total control of it. And it'll open when they make a deal or something else happens that's very positive.
What do you say to the American public? Excuse me. What do you say to the American people who question how much longer this will take? Obviously, that they are having higher.
You're such a disgrace. Did you hear what I just said? Vietnam. How many years was Vietnam?
I understand, sir. But
How many
you are
years
past
was
your
Vietnam?
6-week deadline, so
Well,
I'm
I did my.
wondering-
I
I'm just
took.
wondering
I
what
took.
you say to the American people
I
who are
took
wondering about
the
when
country
this
out
will
militarily in the first 4 weeks. I took it out militarily.
I took it out.
Now
Because of BB, perhaps.
all we're doing is sitting back and seeing what deal. And if they don't want to make a deal, then I'll finish it up militarily with the other 25% of the targets. We've hit 78% of the targets that we've wanted to hit. We've knocked out their manufacturing. We've knocked out their missile production. We've knocked out their drone production. We've knocked out everything. In some cases, when I say knocked it out, 70, 80, 90%. It's amazing what we've done. So I've done that within that period of time that I mentioned, but I don't want to rush myself, because every story says, oh, Trump is under time pressure. I'm not, no. You know who's under time pressure? They are. Because if they don't get their oil moving, their whole oil infrastructure is going to explode.
Saying it's 500 million a
You know
year,
what that means?
a day.
Because they have no place to store it. And because they have no place to store it, if they have to stop it, something happens that only Len can explain. Something happens underground that essentially renders it in very poor shape, and you never recover fully. You can recover 50, 60%, but you can never have it like it is right now. And they have a matter of days before that event takes place. So I'm not under any pressure whatsoever. We've never had so much.
That could be big if true. That could be important. But, I mean, come on. Iran's going to survive.
Much ammunition. Our ships are loaded. I call them locked and loaded. They're locked and loaded. They're ready to go. We have much higher quality equipment than we did when we first started the war, and or the military operation, whatever you want to call it.
The war.
And they're coming to us. The problem they have is
Special
they're very
military operation.
disorganized right now. Well, now yesterday, and I was very pleased with this, 8 young women were going to be executed yesterday afternoon at 6 o'clock.
Are they real?
And I asked them, call it a favor or call it just a moral request that they not be executed. And they came back with an answer that they won't be executed. They're going to release, it was protesting. 8 beautiful young women, very young women. And their pictures in the paper. And it's been a story for a little while. And I saw that and I said, let's see if we can save them. And it was very nice what happened. So They're not going to be. What they're doing is, as you know, they're releasing 4 of them very shortly, and they're going to keep 4 of them in jail for a period of 1 month and release them, so they won't be executed. Yeah,
So if you're asking for more time to sort out
I'm
negotiations
not asking
with
you
Iran,
for more time. I'm not asking for them. No,
But
it's
if
not
you
more
need
time.
more
I'm just.
time-
I'm not asking anybody for more time.
if you need more time, does that mean Americans should anticipate spending more on gasoline for the foreseeable future?
For a little while. And you know what they get
Well,
for
how
that?
long?
You know what they get for that? Iran without a nuclear weapon that's going to try and blow up one of our cities or blow up the entire Middle East. You want to see what shock would be? And I have to be honest,
you're
the
a
stock
whole year-
market is at an all-time high right now. I thought it would have been down 20.
We're talking about the stock market. Yes, we don't even need Christy Nome for that. The picture there is the non-AI generated, totally real Syrian or Iranian women that are going to be that were spared hangings apparently by Iran. And then our other top story from the New York Post. Apparently, I didn't even notice it when I downloaded the image. Illegal use of hands. Mike Vrabel, unnecessary roughness on Diana Russini, the center. It seems like she, just gets right underneath that. I don't know how much of a tight end she got, but anyways, what New York Post? That's great. Haven't kept up with them because they're always full of crap. But now, I mean, their headlines are true.
25%.
wanted
When
to
we
drive
hit, wait a
prices
minute,
down
wait,
this
can I
year.
finish my question, wise guy?
Wise
Stock
guy.
market's at an all-time high right now. I
Stock market.
projected, and I'm pretty good at this, that the stock market, Howard, would drop maybe 20%, 25%, and I understood that, and I said, hey, it's a bad thing, but I have to do what's right for the country, even the world, because you can't have them, you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. So the stock market, unlike what a lot of people were predicting, I thought they weren't necessarily wrong. And the stock market today hit an all-time high. Hit an all-time high yesterday, the day before, and it's staying there. I thought oil would go up to maybe $200 a barrel, and oil is at a different number than anyone thought. In
Worldwide recession at 200. Many, pretty much everyone I've heard even mention that. That's what they say.
fact, this country is much lower because we have all the oil we can use. We're actually, ships are coming from all over the world to Texas, Louisiana, and Alaska. They're coming from all over the world to get oil from the United States, while this is closed.
So there's a lot of ways you can think about that. So I used to work in a small part in the oil industry, but I used to know about the wholesale cost of fuel every single day from the different racks that we would get, different terminals where fuel is refined, either imported, exported, always by ports. That's where the refineries are. And as far as fuel and $200 a barrel, everyone says that would be a worldwide recession that would penalize, billions of people, and there probably would be people that would starve. Um, but as far as our oil, isn't that supposed to be for us then, President Trump? If the $200 a barrel oil, $200 a barrel of oil, the reason that the global price goes up is because our American companies are going to sell the oil to someone else if they can get more money from it than they can get from us. So it doesn't work that way. That's all our oil. No, our oil goes into the global supply of oil. And whatever that global supply is, there's a going rate. And that's what everyone pays for, the going rate of oil. That's how it works. They get subsidized by the government, so on and so forth. But as far as our oil, why are we selling it to these other countries? Well, because they need it. But isn't that our oil? So is that coming out of our reserves? Or are you just depleting more of our oil that we have underground? So it's not our oil. It's oil of those companies that own that oil, that are pumping it out, that are making the profit and selling it overseas or selling it to us at a higher dollar amount. So not to go too deep into this, not saying I disagree with what the president is doing in terms of sending oil from Houston, from the Gulf to across the world exponentially higher rates than we have before. Um, but I don't know. You can easily go either way about it, especially when we're trying to say, or I guess implement, it seems, very protectionist policies. I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. He's got to be making money one way or another on everything, and I think that's the only thing he really cares about.
Hormuz Strait. So, if you look at what I said, I guess it was right because I said I'd have it 4 to 6 weeks, and in 4 weeks we have totally defeated their military. So right now I don't want to rush it because you guys are, trying to make us look as bad as possible.
Rush it.
I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time. We have plenty of time, and I want to get a great deal. I want to get a deal where our nation and the world is safe from lunatics with nuclear weapons. Yes.
If it does go to 200, are you okay with that, sir? If oil goes to 200.
Can't say yes.
There's nothing worse than a nuclear weapon that takes out one of your cities or 2 of your cities or 3. I think there's nothing worse than a nuclear weapon that's going to destroy the Middle East, including Israel. I think there's nothing worse than Europe being under attack by people that have missiles now that reach Europe. As you know, they don't reach us, but they reach Europe. But they will reach us at some time, probably the not too distant future, unless we stop them now. I think there would be nothing worse than having.
Isn't that the logic that Zelensky tried to tell President Trump when they were arguing in the White House in that epic best moment of TV, I thought, up until then? That was an amazing piece of drama and content. That was fabulous. I think Trump loves Zelensky because of that. Because the ratings of that, oh my goodness. And that's a worldwide thing. But anyways, isn't that what Zelensky was telling Trump? Is that sooner or later these weapons, they're gonna get closer, and obviously they're gonna get Europe, and then they're gonna get, and then Trump said, no country's ever gonna reach us. And he just said after they destroy Israel, they could reach us. So I don't know. He just talks in circles a lot, right? I'm not saying, I guess at this point, one way or another, we know what we're getting with Trump. You can't take him seriously, but sometimes you have to take him seriously. So you got to try to decipher all the bullshit that you're hearing.
Nuclear holocaust in Europe, London, Paris, various places in Germany, all targeted. No, what I say is you can't let them have. I don't think it will happen, by the way. I really think we actually, it turns out that we are drill baby drill. And it turns out we're producing a lot of oil, and they're buying the oil. They're going to Alaska, they're going to Texas, Louisiana, and our guys have done a fantastic job. We're putting out right now more oil and gas than we ever have in the history of our country. And one other thing, there are more people employed today in the United States than ever in the history of our country. Okay.
I have a question, sir.
That should always be the case. The population should always be increasing in the United States of America, and we should be employing everybody. The standard of living should go higher. So that should always be the case, no matter what, who's president. Everyone should, there should always be a gross amount of most people employed in the United States.
Is it true that your administration is considering sending 1,100 Afghans to the Democratic Republic of Congo? And if so, do you have a response to
I don't know. I'd have to check that.
The Congo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Breitbart News' Matt Boyle just published an interview with Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis, in which the Prime Minister said that he's rooting for you to succeed in getting a deal with Iran. And he also said he looks forward to hosting you in Greece later this year. Do you have any response?
Nice. No, it's really nice. I mean, Greece has been very supportive, actually. Greece has been terrific. He's a terrific guy because he understands the importance of it. Oil goes up a little bit. I hate it. I was the one that had it down to $60 a barrel. And I looked at guys like Howard Lutnick. Howard, you remember it well. I said, well, we just hit an all-time high in the history of the market. Think of this. When we hit 50,000, I was told, everybody was told, when I won the election, November 5th, they said, well, during the 4-year period, it'll be impossible for the Dow to ever reach 50,000. It'll be impossible for the S&P to ever hit 7,000. Impossible. And you remember that, Howard, right? It was going to hit maybe 6-7 years.
This is where Trump loses everyone when he starts fucking talking about the stock market. And then, of all people, for him to ask, he's asking Howard Lutnick, who no one in America likes. The most unlikable dude in America.
8 years, but I did it in my first year, hit 50,000. Now it's just about at 50,000, and S&P is higher than it was when we started. And S&P hit over 7,000, and that was before the year ended up 1 year. So I can only tell you this, it'll end. I don't think it'll be very long, by the way. They're delaying it because we don't know who to deal with. They are they know who the leader is in this country. We don't know who the leader is in Iran. Because remember, regime change. Khomeini is gone. He's gone to greener pastures. He's gone, and all of his team is gone. Then a second group came in. They're all gone. And now you have the third group, and they're a little concerned about being gone too.
Sir, would you use a nuclear weapon against Iran? You posted on Truth Social a few weeks ago.
We don't need it. Why do I need it?
This is the part I mentioned at the beginning of the telecast, is that Trump did mention double down, triple down right here. No nuclear weapon. So that's a positive sign,
Why would a stupid question like that be asked? Why would I use a nuclear weapon when we've totally, in a very conventional way, decimated them without it? No, I wouldn't use it. A nuclear weapon should never be allowed to be used by anybody.
Iran is given a timeline of when they could give you a proposal.
Which we're all very much looking forward to. Prince Harry today has said that he would like to see you do more to end the war in Ukraine. Do you think it's appropriate for a royal to make those comments ahead of the visit on Monday?
Prince Harry?
Yes, sir.
How's he doing? How's his wife? Please give him my regards, okay? No, I don't know. I know one thing. Prince Harry is not speaking for the UK. That's for sure. I think I'm speaking for the UK more than Prince Harry. But I appreciate his advice very much.
Would you have
great advice.
To the dinner and to the state visit?
Well, I look forward to the dinner. We're having King Charles come. He's a friend of mine. We're really looking forward to it. We've spoken, and we're going to have a great time. I tell you, if I had that ballroom built, it would be filled. I wish we had more seats. They've wanted a new ballroom for 150 years. Now they're getting the best in the world. We're going to have the best in the world. But, we have a room that's not big enough to handle what would be a big crowd. But we're going to have very great people that love the UK. I love the UK. I think they made a big mistake on energy. You should open up the North Sea in Aberdeen. You should open it up. And the other thing is they've made a big mistake on immigration. Okay.
Sir, on Trump RX,
what do you hope to learn from Janine Pirro's investigation into the Fed's renovation that you did not? What do you hope to learn from the Janine Pirro's investigation into the Federal Reservation that you did not learn when you visited the site yourself last year?
Well, look, the Federal Reserve building is a small building. They're going to be in there by the time it opens, in my opinion, for $4 billion. I built a hotel down the road for $201 million that I believe is bigger than the
more real estate advice.
$201 million. The ballroom, I'm going to have the ballroom from $300 to $400 million, depending on finishes, like marbles to quality and the quality finishes. We'll go top of the line. But that's a much bigger project. When you look at the fact that they've taken this,
I think this is the last question he answers.
They've taken down the beautiful ceilings with eagles. They've taken down the walls that are 1.5 feet thick. Masonry. You couldn't hear from office to office. They ripped it all down. They ripped down, because Kevin Warsh, who's terrific, said, the saddest thing is they ripped down the nicest building in Washington for boardrooms and all. Did you know about that building? They ripped it down. It was beautiful. The boardroom building, it was beautiful, and they ripped it down.
It was beautiful.
Probably because it cost so much to fix it. So
it was beautiful.
$25 million had money left over. It's going to cost more than, in my opinion, it's not going to open for a long time. Kevin may not be able to have an office. I'm going to have to get him an office. Can you give him an office?
Yes, space.
Bobby, do you have some space over there, please?
Yeah, we have a lot of space.
But he has more than you think.
Man, these guys are so fucking unlikable. It's ridiculous.
But it may not open for a long time. I looked at it the other day. It's a see-through. See-through, that means the walls aren't even up yet. This is after years and years of construction. And somehow, you have to find out what went wrong. That a small building, I could have done it for $25 million that had money left over. It would have been beautiful. That a small building can cost $4 billion. It may never open. It may never open. And we have to get to that. On top of that, he's been terrible in interest rates because he should have lowered interest rates.
They better be.
That's why I call him Jerome Too Late. Too Late is his nickname. Jerome Too Late Powell. He likes me a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press.
Thank you, press.
Have you been in
Thank you,
contact
press.
with the swimmer?
Thank you, press. Keep moving.
not
Thank
this
you,
one.
guys.
And where did the granite come from?
Thank you, guys. Trump our
Ma'am,
guys.
keep it
Where did the
moving.
granite come
Thank you,
from?
press.
It came from Italy.
From Italy. So it's Italian granite.
Well, it came from Italy. It was carved in Italy. It
Thank
came
you,
from another
press. And they
location.
heard
You know
about
where the
like
location
cows.
is? Africa.
So you have African and Italian granite outside from Oklahoma.
Thank you.
I'm just asking.
Thank you, guys. Keep moving.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep going. Thank you, guys.
There's the whole press crew right there. The A team. All right. Let's get back over to Twitter. Well, that was Trump's first press conference that I've seen live from him in honestly quite some time. I switched over from YouTube TV. I used to have YouTube TV, and then I realized I was paying $90 for it a month, and the only channels I really watch on it were like the British Broadcast Channel for live news, and then you scroll through like CNN, and you do the multi-view with Fox just so you can see the bullshit that they're talking about, you know. But that's it. And then obviously like live sports, right? So you get ESPN. But then I was in a funk there where after the football, and which football's on a lot of the free channels, and then it streams, and then you get it on ESPN for Monday Night Football. It's the only time it's a must. Anyways, long story short, I canceled my YouTube TV, but I found out that for free, just with your smart TVs, you basically can get every channel that you like. The news channels. I'm just missing having like live CNN, but who cares about that? It's really pointless. I have the British Broadcast Channel for free. I never watch Fox or anything like that anyways, but I can see clips or podcasts or whatever. So yeah, anyways, I haven't seen Trump live speaking like he does as much. I think he's just not doing it as much because of the Iran war, because he knows it's a flop, because there's pressure on him. It's tough, you know. So yeah, he was giving us so much before, but he spoke. He answered the question about the Secretary of the Navy, right? He said that he liked the guy. It's just a matter of probably the way he was working with Hegseth or whoever else they had in charge there. That's what the easy peasy kind of gentle, fluffy spin on it is. And I'm sure we won't hear anything from him either because it sounds like they left on professional terms, you know. So Joe Kent, we'll go into Joe Kent, see if he's said anything lately on Twitter. We'll check that out as well. But just in terms of my thoughts on that speech, he did say it was 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks now, instead of, he said it was 5 months yesterday with the Iran war. He called it a war, and then he called it a military operation, special military operation, like, sound familiar, you know? And what else stood out from that speech besides the 20 minutes of the 2 hours and 1 hour and 6 minutes, and he spent about 20 minutes of that, I want to say, focusing on construction, on slate being upgraded to black marble. And then I didn't even listen there at the end. I think the guy asked him about whether it was African marble or some crap like that. Yeah, so he spent about 15 to 20 minutes talking about the construction cost when we just, had to approve 200 billion for a few weeks in this Iran war extension. So, and he poked fun at Jerome Powell, who he hates, but he's increasing the price of fuel. So you're not going to get a decrease in the interest rate when inflation is going to happen, So, okay, so that's kind of what we heard there. And then let's just kind of browse Twitter. Trump's approval rating, the other top story, it's in the mid 30% right now. So that means he's underwater by a lot, right? So it's probably around 65 to 70% of the people in America disapprove with what he's doing overall. It's a lot higher on things like the cost of living, and he's not doing great on a lot of issues. The issue that he's doing the best on is immigration, where he's at 40 to 45% approval, which is not as good as he used to be, you know? So the other top story is apparently Iran is seizing vessels and charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. So Trump said we are in charge of the Strait of Hormuz. That was kind of his bold headline. And in addition to saying that he will not use nuclear weapons, right? So that was big too. So I'll give him credit on that. He addressed the Navy thing. He said that we don't know who we are negotiating with, right? So that is a common thing that we are hearing from President Trump, and it would seem to kind of match because the Iranians say that everything Trump is saying is not true, right? So sounds like there's no real negotiations going on besides when they meet, which I believe happened yesterday or today. I don't know. Have we heard about that? Their latest meetings with the Grand Marshal of Pakistan and him mediating those talks? I guess we'll look into that. So this is the first post that I saw when I refreshed it a couple minutes ago. It's a pin that he's going to sell. Oh, he should sell it. It says, if you've never been a panickin', this one's for you. Trust in Trump. This one says, I'm on the list. Brutal. Brutal Newsom roast there. So Suleiman Ahmed said, confirmed Iranian ship, and take it with a grain of salt. He's a reporter, but he's been giving out a lot of things that can't be confirmed, and they're always pro-Iranian. So ship carrying rice was escorted to Iran by RAGC ship after U.S. attempted to seize it. They guided it through the Sea of Oman, and it safely arrived in Iran. I don't know how much of that is true.
Replacing Iran with Italy Can I ask you a FIFA question, sir? What do you think of this idea of replacing Iran with Italy in the World Cup?
I don't think about it too much.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. Let me give it. You know what? Let me give that a little thought. That's a very. Is that what they're doing? They're thinking about replacing him.
Apparently, it's a proposal.
Let Marco make his poly.
Marco, could you make a statement of that, please? What do you think of?
Can I ask you a FIFA question, sir?
All the tough things they'll give to Marco. Marco, look into Italy. I mean, they'd have a better shot of winning than Iran, but that's messed up. You can't do that to Iran. What the hell? You're not going to even let them compete a spot that they earned? NFL draft today. That is the other top story for me. So we are going to preview the NFL draft. It's going to start in an hour. I just don't think I have the energy to be on watching it with like the Pat McAfee stream in the corner and then with you guys. Maybe I'm going to have to eat at some point. I'm going to get hungry. So I don't know if that's going to work, but NFL draft today, Mendoza, #1 overall pick. QB class, we're going to have to see. So it's going to be in Pittsburgh. So we're definitely going to get a big show spectacle out of Pat McAfee, hometown Pittsburgh. It's gonna be a good show. I think they're streaming for free on YouTube, on regular YouTube, YouTube Live. So that'll be at 4 o'clock. So we got a little bit of time till that hits. This is a funny picture. This is Kennedy and AOC. So let's just go through the news first, see if, I don't know why they don't have the Trump and his Zionist backers intentionally used, this is Nick Fuentes, Trump and his Zionist backers intentionally used mass deportations as bait to get white people to vote for him so that he could take us to war in Iran. This is the conceit of the Republican politics, using right-wing culture war to conscript voters to back special interest. All right, Nick, you need to come back and start streaming again. Joe Kent, let's check out his page. So last time he tweeted, "This is a good move. It buys us time. It's essential when we use it wisely. Acknowledge that under the current conditions, no military solutions and a true settlement is unlikely." So that was on the 21st, 2 days ago. Then here he says, Professor Pepe's analysis is sharp. I agree with most of he lays out in his interview in Substack. I'm advocating for us to walk now, avoid escalation. Sanctions relief can be used to encourage Iran. Top goal now is avoid. So I don't know if we have time to hear this 8 minutes.
Situation where they are then left to negotiate bilateral or multilateral deals around passage through the Strait of Hormuz, but it's very difficult for them to then fire on Israel or anybody else at that point if they're not fired on themselves, because then they become the aggressor rather than defending themselves. But if sanctions continue to choke them, yes, they'll be getting revenue. Yes, they'll have control of the Strait of Hormuz, but without...
Because he's trying to slow it down a little bit. It's not really a third way. That's not a third approach, because there's no actual way to stop Iran from exerting more power in Kent's plan. And what I'm specifically referring to in the hole in Kent's plan is the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. So if we follow Kent's plan here, and okay, we keep the blockade even going here, the U.S. blockade going, what that's going to do is it's still going to open the door for Iran, not necessarily in a week, but in several months, to topple the governments of the UAE and Saudi Arabia.
Iran is having a very hard time figuring out who their leader is. They just don't know. The infighting is between the hardliners, who have been losing badly on the battlefield, and the moderates, who are not very moderate at all, gaining respect. It's crazy. We have total control over the Strait of Hormuz. No ship can enter or leave without the approval of the U.S. Sealed tight. Until such a time, Iran is able to make a deal. Thank you for your attention. Joe Kent says, President's statement creates room for an off-ramp which we can avoid a return to fighting and eliminate the need for a formal settlement. We can withdraw and use sanctions as our blockade. By removing our troops and ships, we deny Iran's military targets they can use as leverage, forcing them to engage with us diplomatically. Iran would be inclined to make quick concessions because they urgently need sanctions relief. This gives us strong leverage on the nuclear issue. Both Iran and President can tell their diplomatic audiences they won, saving face, preventing endless bloodshed. Dynamics of this region and global balance of power will forever be altered because of this war. Okay, Israel Defense Minister Katz, Israel is prepared to resume the war against Iran. We are waiting the green light from the U.S. Israel, and then Joe Kent says, he's right about Israel. Israel would try to force us back into the war because their objective is regime change, decapitation. They can't do it without us. So the president has made it clear our military objectives have been met. It's essential we restrain and ensure we aren't sucked in. Okay. What was this? You said dividing line in the okay, let's just start. They went back and forth. The dividing line should be this is where I liked the last time. So it should be America or Israel versus America first. If someone hates Israel but also supports dismembering infants and letting gay couples purchase babies and dismantling marriage, blah, 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 do you consider them an ally? It's the same person. Yeah, it's Israel, dude, you fucking dumbass. OnlyFans? Who the fuck ran and co-founded and made all the money off of OnlyFans? It was a man from Israel, and he sent his money to Israel, a Zionist. corrupted all these women, continues to do so. They have no skills but showing their buttholes. Who wants that? It's disgusting. Matt Walsh, retarded. You didn't answer the question. You said the dividing line in the conservative civil war should be gay, blah, blah, blah. Those issues should just be a non-starter for the right. The much more imminent and decisive question is whether our civilization will be dominated by organized Jewry and its accomplices. I agree those issues, blah, blah, blah. But there are plenty of people who are avowedly opposed to Israel and who are blah, 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 sanctity and call themselves conservatives. Most of them would not call themselves conservatives. Some do. More to the point. So my question to you is whether you consider an anti-family opposed to Israel. Are they on your side of the line? Yeah, Israel is a bigger issue. Who cares, you fucking idiot? That'll fix everything. If we stop the Israeli influence, family will come together. I'm America first. I never want to see Israel in a place as my country or circumstance. I also oppose the war in Iran. Yeah, dude, have your cake and eat it too, right? You can just everything you want. But if someone agrees with me on those points yet disagrees with me about protecting, I would not consider them an ally in any meaningful sense. The family is the bedrock of civilization. Good job finding a coalition, you idiot, to get rid of this overlooming problem of the Zionists controlling our government. It is a most fundamental thing, even the most fundamental than the nation. We must be aligned on that. I only have 280 characters to respond. Clearly, if somebody disagrees with you on those points and wants to put Israel first, go to war with Iran, have our society subverted by Jewish fifth column, would you consider them an ally as long as you oppose gay adoption?
The 8 weeks that the U.S. now has been involved with Iran, you had initially said it would be 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, I
and it
hope
would be
that,
over.
but I also took a little break. I gave them a break. And remember this, I want to make the best deal. I could make a deal right now. Do you know that if I left right now, we had a tremendous success. It would take them 20 years to rebuild, but I don't want to do that. I want to have it everlasting. I want to have it where they never have a chance to get it. I mean, the way you asked that question, yeah, I did say it. I thought it would take 4 to 6 weeks, and I was right. Because at the end of 6 weeks, at the end of 4 weeks, the military was decimated.
So are you saying
but now what I'm doing, I can't tell you that. I don't want to put that kind of a timetable on it, but it'll go pretty quickly. And we'll have the Strait open.
Imagine having the goal on that person, that reporter, to do her job, to ask him a question in that way. Because it's not like her tax dollars pay for the entire government, the entire White House, everything in the United States. It's not like our tax dollars don't get used to fund all that.
Now, right now, we have it closed. We have total control of the Strait. And the fact that it's closed, they would have opened it up 3 days ago. They came to us and they said, we will agree to open the Strait. And all my people were happy. Everybody was happy except me. I said, wait a minute, if we open the Strait, that means they're going to make $500 million a day. I don't want them to make $500 million a day until they settle this thing.
All right, Russian Times, you guys already know what the disclaimer should be here, right? I mean, so let's read through some tweets. Trump on war on Iran. Don't rush me. We were in a war with Iran or with Vietnam for like 18 years. For many, many years in Iraq. I've been doing this for 6 weeks.
How long are you willing to wait until you get a unified response?
Don't rush me, Jeff.
Don't rush me.
Like you want to say, oh, so we were in Vietnam like for 18 years. We were in Iraq for many, many years. We're in for all the, I don't like to say World War II because that was a biggie. but we were 4.5, almost 5 years in World War II. We were in the Korean War for 7 years. I've been doing this for 6 weeks, and their military is totally defeated.
How long are you willing to wait until you get?
America is back. Trump on the new political slogan. MAGA, maybe the greatest political slogan in the history of the world. Don't have courage to change MAGA, but we're great now. America is back.
I don't have the courage to change MAGA. Make America great again, but I think it's maybe the greatest political slogan in the history of the world. Make America great again.
Wow, are they changing MAGA because into America is back? That's crazy if they are. Because that's how unpopular MAGA is. To sell more merchandise, maybe.
Yeah, but you know, we're great now, so I will never say
ceasefire extended by 3 weeks.
MAGA, but we have another one.
That's a long time, another 3 weeks.
Who's that hat? Does anybody have to go? No, yeah, that's the old one, and then show them the new one. And we never.
So I'm hearing ceasefire extended by 3 weeks. Also, latest news from the British broadcast channel, there is no plan for FIFA to replace Iran with Italy.
We're never changing MAGA. I don't have the courage to change MAGA. Make America great again, but you know, we're great now. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the most powerful country in the world by far. I don't have the courage to change MAGA. Make America great again.
Do you intend to invite Vladimir Putin to the G20 in Miami? No, but if he came, it would probably be very helpful. When he made the G8, the G7, they threw Russia out. Let's hear this.
They threw Russia.
What did they say, that you intend to invite Vladimir Putin to the G20 in Miami? Is that the case?
No, but if he came, it would be probably very helpful. You know, I've said a long time ago, when they made the G8, the G7, they threw Russia out before my time. That was Obama and a certain prime minister from a place called Canada, Trudeau. And I said, that's a stupid thing to do. And I was right. You know, I'd go to these meetings of the G7, and about 90% of the meeting was talking about Russia and what's going on with Russia. And I said, why'd you throw them out? You know, if they didn't throw them out, they would have been much better off, in my opinion. You know, it should have been the G8. But when they threw out President Putin, he was very offended by that. He was, you know, rightfully, but he was very offended by that. I venture to say you probably wouldn't be having these problems if you didn't throw him out.
Yeah, I don't see why Russia shouldn't be in it. So, Southern Poverty Law. Did we just miss a bunch?
Millions of dollars. How do you defend what just happened where your Southern law, whatever it is, has given money to KKK? They're supposed to protect people, and they're paying all these people, crooked as can be, millions of dollars going all to all these people that they're supposed to be protecting from, but they're actually supporting them because they want to have companies that they can protect and because they want to rig elections. That was all a rigged election. All of the things with Charlottesville, all of the stuff that they did, and you won't bring that up, but you'll bring up some nonsense. Let me tell you, the election. How do you
Southern
defend what just
Poverty
happened?
Law Center, total scam for sure. I don't know that they did the entire Charlottesville thing. I'm sure there was some truth to that.
Between Lebanon and Israel, do you think it will happen this year?
I think it has a great chance. I mean, you know, they're friends about the same things and they're enemies on the same things, and it has to do with, I guess you could say, a couple of countries, but certainly it's, if you look at Hezbollah, that's where everybody seems to be united.
We would like to ask you 3 questions. First question,
So if you haven't seen Tucker Carlson, his piece that he's done, his last 2 pieces, I believe, one was an interview with a woman living in Lebanon, I believe. Or no, was she talking about yeah, she's Lebanese, but she also has Israeli-Palestinian citizenship, something like that. It's a must listen to, but basically all of Tucker's last 3 podcasts have been great. As far as what they're doing to the Christians in Lebanon is repulsive. I can't believe we are funding Israel. They're going to go to hell for what they're doing to the other people, just people in general, but they're doing it to Christians. Not to mention the statue that they, like they were Satan, they just smashed with a sledgehammer. So they all deserve the highest punishment in the world. So.
Funding to our government is doing whatever it wants. What do you say for?
Well, look, Israel has to, I mean, we're just talking about it. Israel is going to have to defend itself if they're shot at, and they will. I would never say that they can't. It would be nice if they wouldn't have to bother with that, but if something happens, they're going to have to defend themselves, as you know. But they're going to do it carefully, and they're going to be surgical as opposed to beyond surgical, and you know, there's a lot they can do. But Israel is going to have to defend itself.
Funding to our government is doing whatever it wants. What do you say for?
Well, look, Israel has to, I mean, we're just talking about it. Israel is going to have to defend itself if they're shot at.
So let's switch over to screen 2 so we can read President Trump's tweet here. Let me pull it up and read it. This is the one where he announced the 3-week ceasefire, I believe. So it says, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, VP of the United States, J.D. Vance, Secretary of State, Rubio, Ambassador to Israel, Mike, fuck that guy, and Ambassador to Lebanon, Issa, met today with high-ranking representatives of Israel and Lebanon in the Oval Office. The meeting went very well. The United States is going to work with Lebanon in order to help protect itself from Hezbollah. It's basically a civilian militia resistance force. The ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon will be extended by... Okay, good. So the Lebanon-Israel is extended for 3 weeks. I look forward in the near future to hosting President... Nope. And Lebanon, Christian president of Lebanon, Joseph Aoun. It was a great honor at this historic meeting. All right.
People suspect that there's insider trading happening on these prediction markets around the war. Are you concerned?
Well, you know, the whole world, unfortunately, has become somewhat of a casino. And you look at what's going on all over the world.
Whose fault
in
is
Europe
that?
And every place they're doing these betting things. I was never much in favor of it. I don't like it conceptually, but it is what it is. No, I think that I'm not happy with any of that stuff, but they have all these different sites. They have predicted.
They're probably all owned by Israel, to be honest. AJ Live. I missed the last hour of Alex Jones. All right, folks. That might be it for the stream. I mean, do we really want to go into the Diana Russini? Married to Mike Rabel, caught kissing New York City bar, bombshell photos taken 6 years ago. Wow. What a scumbag, both of them, with their families. It's just, go do that together and not have your, I don't know, maybe their families know about it, who cares?
Insurance policy, but it's essentially like my husband having his new wife coming into our house right now, introducing him to my little Mikey. He's the new mom. I leave, and then he's like, oh, Di, come back. You're cooking so good. We actually want to keep you here because, you know, you're so great at that.
White
whole thing.
nails.
You know, you can't.
She thinks she's a Kardashian.
It's over. It's over. We're done.
Look
You're
at that
invested in
beat.
the new one. And I know why Mike believes that this could be a
Fucking disgusting. I have a meme for this that I would post, but it's in my phone, so since I'm on a computer, I can't necessarily attach it. It's fine. It doesn't require being mean. Diana Russini training for for the NFL Insider Draft. This is how some girls be at the gym, and then they're like, "Why are you looking at me? Why is he staring? You pervert!" Like, Jesus Christ, wearing white. Yeah, this is not good. Oh no, did someone say that her son might be named after him, who was born around the same time? Scandal gets even crazier. Russini gave birth to a son in 2021, named him Michael. Their relationship began in 2018. Holy this is a movie. Keep looking at my almost 4-year-old son Michael while trying to figure out who are the best Michaels to ever play and coach football. What? Oh my God. She cannot be serious. Whole. Might just have to put emojis so I don't keep getting banned off of Twitter. And there's no way to fix society anymore. I was gonna say everyone needs to get off their phones and fucking read a book. And women need to read a cookbook, and men need to go learn how to use a fucking any sort of tool, you know, besides a hammer. Like, Jesus Christ. Horrible. Jeez, man. No, God. They're public figures and they're doing this, like, laughing about it. It's crazy. So Special Forces soldier has been arrested for insider bets on Maduro raid. Soldier took part in Operation Absolute Resolve, covert Caracas, to capture Maduro and his wife. Who are now facing drug trafficking. So he used a poly market. He placed 33,000 in bet, including a 32,000 leaving office, cashing out 409,000 profits before President Trump announced success. Why would that sucks? That's the only thing the government will get you for. That's the only that you're allowed to be their paid assassin for the country and because the country is controlled by this globalist agenda and these, you know, deep state, I would even call it deep world, you know, new world order type of folk that want to control your banking and want to control your phone and want to control where you drive and how many carbon emissions you give out and what, you know, vaccines and your health and what you type into your cell phone. Those folk, I have ADHD, folks. I forget when I'm talking about my rants. But so you can be a paid trained assassin of the highest level, basically, a patriot, special forces soldier, and they'll throw you in prison for that, for a $400,000 bet because you stole money from probably a Zionist-run company, Polymarket. Who owns Polymarket? Should we ask? Should we try to figure that out? in a Jewish family. So we just found out that the guy in charge of Polymarket, the guy that died in charge of OnlyFans, probably Zionist, probably Israeli citizens. On that note, and so because this special forces soldier stole 400,000 from him, they're gonna throw him in federal prison. That's what's really going on, folks. So you could see why when Nick Fuentes was arguing with that other loser, Walsh, not calling Fuentes a loser, I'm calling the other guy a loser because he fucking doesn't get it. He still thinks it's about right versus left, conservatives, abortion, blah, 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 bullshit. When we're all going to get slaughtered like cattle. We're all goyim, right? The deep state is in charge. The people in charge of that are the Zionists, the darkest people, you know? Their state is Israel. It's not the United States. They want us all to kill ourselves and live in squalor and eat dog food, like Alex Jones says. So the second you do anything against those people, that's the repercussions are real. So that soldier's gonna find out. YouTube terminates Clavicular's channels after prior violations. Is this true? Oh, because he did drugs and bone smash, whatever bone smashing means. Okay, I mean, the draft's going to start shortly. I recommend watching it on Pat McAfee's channel. We might get an appearance from Mel Kiper. Let's see if there's anything about Mel Kiper. His big board, Fernando, #1. Sonny Styles, I saw him. He looked good. Jordan Tyson, Makai Lemon. Ty Simpson, okay. Nussmeier, all right.
Ty Simpson, and now certainly Arizona does. They want to try to trade back in and get.
I don't want to show too much ESPN. They'll for sure flag my video. Be like, you can't show it. So this is supposed to be the top 10 picks. Mendoza, Bailey, Reese, Jeremiah Love. Woo, that's going to be a pick. Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles to the Cowboys. That could replace Micah. We'll see. No other QBs in the top 10, huh? Let's check out Ty Schmidt. He's gotta dress up as Mad Mel. That's what everyone waits for. So this is what we're talking about. It's gonna start soon. We'll be streaming it. Can't wait for tonight. Nothing better than Draft Spectacular. You're right about that. I mean, the draft is the shit.
Let's take a look inside our 2026.
Yeah, where's
draft room.
Russini
There's
sitting?
a multitude of screens. We have a 98-inch over here. The draft board is flanked by 2 TVs, which we can also push content to. You can see the distance here that we cover. Allows us to build a board of all of our prospects in one spot. Everything will be centrally focused. Our draft board
That's
will be
cool.
live on
It's
this
not as
wall.
cool as some of the ones
As you
I've
see
seen.
in front of you. We'll see the picks come off. As they come off, they'll go to different sections of the room. We'll be able to see everything from picks 1 through 250. We'll also see team by team. This board will display all the prospects as people get picked and players come off the board. We'll have conversations here around the table. If you can turn around here, you'll see, you know, in the middle of the table, we'll have ownership, Coach Vrabel, Elliott, myself.
Coach
And
Vrabel.
across
Where's
this
his
view will
boob?
be
Diana
more
at?
members of our scouting staff.
She's just gonna be
We'll
like,
also have
there's
our
a stripper
medical team in
pole.
here for any medical questions that come up. We'll have our security for any background.
You don't see it here, but right above his head, up here, there's a hole where the stripper pole comes down, blink, plants right into this thing. Stripper pole comes down, blink, and then Diana Russini starts dancing for everybody in a G-string when they're not on camera. So
Situations that come up in real time, and all those people will be in here as the draft starts on Thursday night. As we go through the process, we'll call the player, we'll get the player on the phone, we'll let them know we're about to make him a New England Patriot. Coach Vrabel Mr. Kraft usually
Strip
speak
club,
to the players. It's a
first
really
night.
exciting time for
We're
both
going
the
to a
player
strip
and the
club.
organization. A lot of work's
Got
been
my
done
girl
these last
Diana dancing
12, 18
tonight.
months, and it culminates with the selection of a player that we believe can help this team. We have the capability with this camera here, potentially maybe get the player and his family on FaceTime here to see us in the room. It's a unique moment to try and capture as they're celebrating and really in a moment.
That's
that they'll
cool,
never
man.
forget. Hope
It's
you
a
guys
cool
enjoy
spot.
taking a look at this draft room. Again, it's a space.
Fun stuff. Mina Kimes trying to be Diana Russini Part 2.
I would say used to be.
Maybe used to be, but she still got it in her, I'm sure, the way you do. Your wife, Jen, is a superb athlete.
I would say used to be.
Maybe used to be, but she still got it in her, I'm sure, the way you do. Which sport do you think Jen could beat you at now?
Ping pong.
Ping pong. Have you ever done it with her?
I get too aggressive.
Yeah, I
I
can see
can't.
that.
After it's 2 volleys, I just try to.
Your wife, Jen, is a superb athlete.
I would say used.
I just typed in about the draft. I didn't even type in. So Russini married her husband 6 years ago, started cheating 5-6 years ago, gave birth to this son 4 years ago. Naming him Michael, diabolic as fuck. Women are evil. Let's go, Pat. Maybe we'll finish with Alex. I need to catch up on War Room, but I don't know how much of it I'll see. I'll probably watch the draft tonight and fall asleep to War Room. Alex was pretty good today, but nothing crazy. I missed Dark Journalist, a lot of what he was talking about. I like Dark Journalist. That guy's off the chain. I don't even know if I'm following him. Am I following Dark Journalist? I gotta give him a follow. That dude's always good. As crazy as he is, he's unhinged. It's pretty good. Draft spectacular. Ty's excited. He's juiced. He's probably got makeup and a suit on.
Say a lot of things. I thought the whoop-de-woos were not going to be whoop-de-woos. I thought the roller
Oh,
coasters.
it's when Connor passes out. I saw this last night.
I
This is
mentioned the
hilarious.
racer in around there. Very throwing up this foot.
Yeah, D-butt.
Here.
Right here, watch.
On the
Connor
steel
pretends to
curtain.
pass
I was
out.
not ready
Watch
for
this.
it. My entire body just kind of gave out. My hair was going everywhere. This is actually our second run. The first run, I damn near lost my glasses, so I
holding his
took them off
chest.
for run 2. I'm glad I did, because as soon as I go out, I would have completely lost my shades. I wouldn't be able to see
Look.
anything. Boom.
Oh my
I'm
God!
out.
You actually went out
I'm
right
out.
there.
See you guys later.
Wake him up, DJ.
Nope, still out.
He's faking it, but it's
This is
hilarious.
my first time seeing it.
Oh my God!
Are you all right?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah, people trying to make me up there. Still out. Still
Oh my
out.
God.
Oh my
It's
God!
like a doll.
This is my first time seeing it.
Yeah, yeah. And we came back. Still out. So
Oh
boom. Yeah.
There
Back
he
alive.
is. He's back.
So look, to say Kennywood.
What a freaking trooper. Brandon Aubrey, 4 years, 28 million guaranteed.
Well done.
Brandon.
You earned that, pal. Remember, there was some rumors going around about what he was expecting. Brandon Aubrey, highest paid kicker ever, 4-year, 28 million, 20 million guarantee with Cowboys. Congratulations, Brandon.
Well done.
You earned that, pal. Remember, there were some rumors going around about what he was expecting and wanting and thinking and all that stuff. And then his agent said, that's not real. Got transition tagged. I believe somebody else could have made an offer for him through that point. He ended up being definitely back with the Cowboys. They get a deal done with the most accurate kicker maybe of all time if he's to go. Guy never misses.
All right, so that was on the show before, so. Wow, they had Saban on. I should want to watch that. I haven't watched Pat McAfee a lot. I've been focused on the world and Alex Jones and what the hell to listen. And then there's like SRS and Joe Rogan, and then I try to include some fun stuff. And I've just been too swamped to keep up on any of these sports.
I'm
But,
happy you're all right.
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do in half an hour. So. Alrighty, folks. I think that wraps up this stream today. Look at this cat. He's typing. gotta send this to my girls. Alright, let me like it. Alrighty, folks, thank you for joining me today. I'm gonna try to stream more often. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, wait, hold on. I just saw this Nick video. You know he's always good. Let's hear him. Let's hear him out.
I cannot wait for the Democrats to take the House. They subpoena and investigate Kristi Noem, Lauren, and Corey Lewandowski, and they find so much corruption. It's going to make the impeachments during Trump 1 look like a joke. All that stuff about Paul Manafort.
Once the Democrats get control and they're doing all these investigations into Trump's son's family's companies, the crypto scams, the deals with the Emiratis, just the Lutnick kids, the cocaine on who was it? Witkoff's son. No, Lutnick's. No, was it Witkoff or Lutnick's? I don't even remember which one's son it was. Lutnick's son got caught with cocaine in 2022. That video was released today. Like, all these scandals, everything, all the corruption, we're not gonna be able to, every single day there's gonna be something going on. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be, the only thing we can pray for is that the Democrats do get the majority and they are able to impeach Trump, and then they'll get the president. At least everyone will be moving in one direction. Because you can't trust the Republicans after this. They have no balls given every ounce of power to Trump and the craziness that he's doing and the corruption. It's just too much. We have to get the Zionists out of our government.
And the business documents and the Ukrainian phone call. The corruption that they will discover when the Democrats are in the House, it's going to make all that stuff look like a joke. And they're just going to keep stacking it up on top of Vance. We're going to be in our war with Iran. The Middle East is going to be a mess. The economy is going to be a mess. The Trump administration is corrupt. He might even be impeached. You are fucked. And we are not going to bail you out. Sorry. 2026, I'm telling people to stay home. You know what my message is in 2026? Stay home. We got to vote to get back on track. Fuck you. And the guy that posted it, I like the guy. It's not directed at him, but that sentiment, we got to get everybody back on track. Go fuck yourself. You told us when we wanted the Epstein files, we don't need your votes anymore. Hey, wish granted. Remember that? Remember in July of 2025 when Trump said, if you want the Epstein files, you're not a real supporter. I don't want your vote. Hey, wish granted, pal. Wish granted. You wanted it. You got it. Fuck you. You want to get it back on track? Good luck. Call Netanyahu. That's the part that I love. They sell us out. H-1B visas galore. Student visas galore. No mass deportations. Burying the Epstein files. I think Bill Clinton's a great guy. And then in 26, they're going to be begging us for the vote. Hey guys, we need your help. You know, President Trump needs more seats to keep the agenda going. You know what I have to say about that? You're worried about your majority in 2026. You're worried about losing the House. Why don't you ask Bill Clinton for his vote then? Ask Bill Clinton. Ask those 600,000 Chinese students. Ask the H-1B workers. Ask the Israelis. Ask Netanyahu for a vote. You gave Netanyahu $20 billion. Ask him to vote for you.
Nope, he won't.
You gave Wall Street the corporate tax cut extension. Why don't you ask them for the vote? You know, ask them. Go and bother them with your campaign ads.
Useful idiots. That's what you were.
We still have illegal immigrants in our cities. We still have rampant crime in our cities. The job market still sucks. We're not richer. Our purchasing power has not increased. Go ask somebody else because we are not interested. We do want to burn it all down.
We're not useful idiots anymore.
You don't want our vote? Wish granted. You're not getting it this time.
Attaboy. That's it. That's all we got. We'll be streaming again soon, folks.